Most traders don't quit because they lose money. They quit because nothing seems to happen. Weeks go by. Months pass. The account barely moves. No big wins. No big losses. Just this quiet, frustrating feeling that you're stuck, while everyone else online looks like they're flying past you. And the dangerous thought starts creeping in. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm just slow. Maybe trading isn't for me. But here's the truth most people never tell you. Slow progress in trading doesn't feel like progress at all. It feels like failure. Because you don't wake up one day and say, "Wow, I'm building patience." You wake up saying, "Why am I still here?" Let me tell you a story. There was a trader who showed up every day. Same charts. Same routine. Same rules. From the outside, nothing changed. No lifestyle upgrade. No screenshots worth posting. No moment that made people say, "This is it." And yet, something was happening. Quietly. While he was frustrated by small wins, his losses were shrinking. While he was bored, his execution was getting cleaner. While he thought he was stuck, his bad habits were slowly dying. But because there was no dopamine spike, his brain labeled it as slow. That's the trap. Trading doesn't reward you with speed first. It rewards you with stability first. And stability feels boring. It feels uneventful. It feels like you're behind. Most traders don't fail because they lack strategy. They fail because they misinterpret this phase. They think slow means broken. They think quiet means wrong. They think boredom means they're wasting time. So they change systems. They increase risk. They chase movement. And they reset their progress back to zero. If your trading feels slow right now, it's probably not because you're bad. It's probably because you're finally doing something that doesn't explode your account. The market doesn't announce when you're leveling up. It just removes chaos from your decisions, one trade at a time. And unless you understand this phase, you'll keep escaping it, right before it starts paying you back. This video is about that phase. 1. The illusion of slow. There's a moment almost every trader experiences, but very few talk about it honestly. It's not the moment you blow an account. It's not the moment you make your first big win. It's the moment nothing dramatic happens. You wake up, open your laptop, check the charts, and everything feels quiet. No clean setups. No obvious trades. No emotional highs or lows. Just silence. At first, this silence feels like discipline. You tell yourself, "I'm being patient. I'm waiting for my edge." But after a while, patience starts to feel suspicious. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Your account isn't crashing, but it's not growing either. And that's when the doubt starts whispering. Am I missing something? Why does everyone else seem to move faster? Why does my progress feel invisible? Here's what most traders don't realize yet. Your brain is wired to confuse movement with progress. When you were overtrading, every day felt busy. Every trade felt important. Win or lose, there was emotion. There was feedback. But when you slow down, when you start filtering trades, reducing risk, waiting, your brain panics. Because calm feels like stagnation. There was a trader who once said his most uncomfortable phase wasn't losing money. It was the phase where his equity curve went flat. Not down. Not up. Flat. He followed his rules. He journaled. He reviewed his mistakes. And every night he felt the same frustration. I'm doing everything right, so why does it feel like nothing is happening? What he didn't see was that his biggest change wasn't on the chart. It was in the trades he didn't take. The impulsive entries disappeared. The revenge trades stopped showing up. The need to be in the market every day slowly faded. But because those changes didn't come with profits yet, his mind labeled them as useless. This is the illusion of slow. When chaos leaves your trading, it doesn't get replaced with excitement. It gets replaced with emptiness. And emptiness makes you uncomfortable. So most traders sabotage it. They add new indicators. They change time frames. They increase size, just to feel something again. Not because their system is broken, but because silence feels unbearable. If your trading feels slow, this is often the first sign you've entered a phase where growth is internal before it's financial. And if you don't understand this phase, you'll escape it, not realizing it was doing its job. 2. When nothing looks impressive. After the silence settles in, another problem shows up. Comparison. You scroll for a few minutes and suddenly your slow trading feels even slower. Someone doubled a small account. Someone caught a huge move. Someone claims they finally figured it out. And there you are, still doing the same thing. Same risk. Same rules. Same boring execution. Nothing impressive to show for it. There was a trader who stopped sharing his journey during this phase. Not because he quit, but because he felt embarrassed. He wasn't losing. He wasn't gambling. He wasn't blowing accounts. But he also wasn't winning in a way that looked exciting. No highlight trades. No perfect entries. No dramatic story. Just small, controlled decisions. And slowly, he started questioning himself. If I'm improving, why don't I feel confident? If this is working, why doesn't it look like success yet? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Real trading progress rarely looks good from the outside. It looks like skipping trades everyone else is chasing. It looks like taking partial profits early and watching price keep running without you. It looks like ending the week slightly green or flat, while others celebrate big wins. And that messes with your head. Because your ego wants proof. Your mind wants validation. Your emotions want a reward. But the market doesn't reward discipline immediately. It tests how long you can stick to it without applause. The trader from earlier almost quit here. Not because he was failing, but because he felt invisible. He told himself, if this really worked, I'd feel more confident by now. What he didn't realize was that confidence in trading doesn't come from wins. It comes from consistency. From knowing that no matter what happens today, you won't self-destruct tomorrow. That kind of confidence builds quietly. So quietly that you don't notice it until you're tested. And the moment you break your rules, just to feel progress again, is usually the moment you reset everything. If your trading feels slow and unimpressive right now, it may be because you've stopped trading for attention and started trading for survival. And that phase never feels exciting. It feels lonely. 3. The boring upgrade. After comparison fades, another feeling replaces it. Boredom. Not the relaxing kind. The uncomfortable kind that makes you question everything. You sit in front of your laptop, charts open, and there's nothing pulling you in. No urge to click. No rush to enter. No need to do something. And for the first time, trading feels dull. There was a trader who used to think boredom was a bad sign. Whenever he felt it, he assumed he was losing his edge. So he'd zoom into lower time frames. Add another indicator. Convince himself there had to be an opportunity somewhere. But every time he chased excitement, his results got worse. Eventually, he noticed something strange. On the days he felt bored, his trades were clean. Risk was controlled. Losses were small. On the days he felt excited, his discipline vanished. That's when it clicked. Boredom wasn't a problem. It was an upgrade. Because boredom only shows up when your emotions stop hijacking your decisions. Earlier in his journey, every candle felt important. Every move felt like an opportunity or a threat. Now, most of them didn't matter. And that scared him. Because when trading stops feeling intense, your brain thinks you're disengaging. But in reality, you're finally detached. This is the phase where traders get dangerous, in a good way. Not because they're aggressive, but because they're selective. They wait. They pass. They let the market come to them. And from the outside, it looks like they're doing less. But internally, they're doing something most traders never learn. They're separating action from ego. The problem is, boredom doesn't come with rewards. It comes with temptation. The temptation to force trades. To increase size. To prove you're still in the game. Many traders break here. Not because they lack skill, but because they don't trust quiet competence. If your trading feels boring right now, it's probably because you've stopped needing stimulation from the market. And that's usually right before patience starts turning into consistency. But only if you don't sabotage it. 4. The invisible progress. There's a phase where trading starts changing you, but nothing around you reflects it yet. Your account doesn't look impressive. Your results don't spark excitement. Your life looks exactly the same as before. And that's what makes this part dangerous. Because humans are wired to trust what they can see. There was a trader who felt this deeply. Months into being more disciplined, he expected something to show for it. A breakout month. A clear upward curve. Some external sign that all this patience was worth it. But all he saw was control. He stopped panicking during drawdowns. He no longer felt the urge to make it back after a loss. He could close his laptop after a losing day without carrying it into the night. And instead of celebrating that, he dismissed it. This doesn't pay the bills, he told himself. So he almost went back to his old habits. What he didn't realize was that the market doesn't reward emotional maturity with immediate profits. It rewards it with permission. Permission to stay in the game longer. Permission to survive streaks that wipe others out. Permission to scale later without self-destruction. Invisible progress is frustrating because it doesn't feel like progress. You don't get praise for fewer mistakes. You don't get recognition for discipline. You don't get dopamine for restraint. But this is the phase where traders quietly stop leaking money. They stop death by 1,000 cuts. They stop donating to the market through impatience. They stop being predictable prey. And because the improvement is defensive, not aggressive, it feels weak. But defense is what keeps you alive long enough to build offense. Many traders never make it past this point. They confuse "nothing bad is happening" with "nothing good is happening." So they break their rules again. Not because they forgot them, but because they underestimate what they've already fixed. If your trading feels slow, controlled, and uneventful right now, it may be because you're finally closing the leaks that used to drain you. You just haven't been paid for it yet. And that delay is what separates those who survive from those who restart forever. 5. The temptation to speed it up. This is usually where impatience gets smart. Not loud. Not reckless. Subtle. You don't suddenly abandon your rules. You adjust them. Just a little. There was a trader who told himself he was still disciplined, he was just optimizing. Same strategy. Same framework. But now he took trades a bit earlier. Held losers a bit longer. Increased size on days he felt confident. Nothing dramatic. And that's why it worked, at first. The account finally moved. A few good weeks showed up. For the first time in a while, trading didn't feel slow anymore. It felt alive. But what he didn't notice was why it felt good. It wasn't because he improved. It was because he reintroduced emotion. Speed creates stimulation. Stimulation creates confidence. Confidence feels like progress. Until volatility shows up. The first real losing streak exposed everything. Losses hit harder because size was bigger. Decisions became rushed. Patience collapsed under pressure. And suddenly, he wasn't just slow again, he was unstable. That's the cost of forcing speed. When you haven't fully earned consistency, speed magnifies flaws instead of results. This is the phase where traders confuse momentum with mastery. They think, if I can just push a bit harder, I'll break through. But trading doesn't work like effort-based systems. You don't get rewarded for intensity. You get punished for impatience. The traders who survive this phase understand something painful. Progress that's rushed is usually borrowed from the future. Borrowed confidence. Borrowed risk tolerance. Borrowed discipline. And the market always collects it back, with interest. If your trading feels slow and you're tempted to accelerate it, ask yourself this. Are you speeding up because you're ready? Or because you're uncomfortable waiting? Because one of those builds a career. The other just makes the quiet phase louder, before it breaks you. 6. When the market finally tests you. After all the quiet progress, this is where the market checks if it's real. A losing streak arrives. Not a dramatic blow-up. Not a catastrophic mistake. Just a string of losses that feel unfair. You followed your rules. Your entries made sense. Your risk was controlled. And still, red. This is where most traders panic, not because of the losses, but because of what they mean. Did I misread everything? Was that slow phase a lie? Am I back to square one? There was a trader who hit this exact moment after months of disciplined trading. Earlier in his journey, this kind of streak would have wrecked him. He would have doubled size. Changed strategies. Forced trades to recover. But this time, something was different. He still felt the frustration, but it didn't own him. He didn't revenge trade. He didn't break his rules. He didn't feel the urge to win it all back today. And that scared him more than the losses. Because his identity as a trader was built around reacting. Around fighting the market. Around proving something. Now, he was just responding. Losses stayed losses. They didn't spill into the next trade. They didn't poison his mindset. And that's when he realized the slow phase wasn't about profits at all. It was preparation. The market wasn't testing his strategy, it was testing his behavior. Could he stay consistent when results temporarily disappeared? Could he trust process without reassurance? Could he remain stable when nothing felt rewarding? Most traders fail here not because they lose money, but because they lose belief. They assume consistency should protect them from drawdowns. It doesn't. It just stops drawdowns from destroying them. If your trading feels slow and you're in a losing stretch right now, it doesn't mean you're regressing. It may be the first time the market is treating you like a professional, not a gambler. And how you respond here decides whether the slow phase was a waste of time or the foundation that finally holds. 7. The shift you don't notice. There's a moment that doesn't announce itself. No big win. No emotional release. No clear turning point. Just a subtle change in how you think. There was a trader who realized this on an ordinary day. He closed his laptop after a losing session and went on with his evening. No replaying trades in his head. No urge to check the charts again. No frustration leaking into everything else. And that's when it hit him. Earlier in his journey, a single red day could ruin his mood. A single mistake could follow him for weeks. Now, it didn't. The market had stopped living rent-free in his mind. That's the shift most traders miss. Not when profits explode, but when trading stops feeling personal. Wins no longer inflate the ego. Losses no longer attack the identity. Trades become data. Days become samples. Weeks become context. This is where patience turns into trust. Not blind trust, informed trust. Trust built from repetition. From seeing yourself follow rules under pressure. From proving, quietly, that you won't self-sabotage when emotions rise. From the outside, this trader still looked average. No flashy lifestyle. No viral moments. No dramatic story arc. But internally, he had crossed a line most never do. He stopped needing the market to validate him. And once that happens, something powerful follows. Clarity. Setups become obvious because you're not forcing them. Risk becomes mechanical because fear isn't driving it. Decision-making becomes simple because ego isn't involved. This is the phase where traders unknowingly become scalable. Because when size increases later, emotions don't scale with it. Most traders try to size up first, and fix psychology later. This phase flips that order. If your trading feels slow but emotionally lighter. If losses don't shake you the way they used to. If patience feels natural instead of forced. You might already be past the hardest part. You just haven't noticed it yet. 8. When slow turns into inevitable. Most traders expect success to arrive loudly. A breakout month. A sudden streak. A moment where everything finally makes sense. But for the trader who survives the slow phase, it doesn't happen like that. It happens quietly. There was a trader who looked back one day and realized something strange. His account wasn't exploding, but it was steady. His losses weren't painful, just part of the process. His decisions didn't feel heavy anymore. Trading had become normal. And that's when he understood what slow was really doing. It wasn't delaying success. It was removing randomness. Earlier in his journey, any good result felt fragile. One bad week could erase months of progress. One emotional decision could undo everything. Now, results felt repeatable. Not exciting. Not impressive. Repeatable. That's the difference between luck and inevitability. When trading is chaotic, speed feels necessary. You rush because you don't trust the foundation. But when trading is structured, speed becomes irrelevant. You don't need today to be big. You don't need this week to matter. You don't need the market to cooperate immediately. Because you know, over enough samples, it will. This is where most traders misunderstand slow progress. They think slow means they're behind. In reality, slow means fewer leaks. Fewer emotional decisions. Fewer resets. It means you've stopped trying to force the future and started letting probability work. The trader from this story didn't wake up one day feeling successful. He woke up feeling calm. And months later, he realized something else had changed. He was still here. While others disappeared. While others restarted. While others chased shortcuts. Slow didn't make him rich overnight. It made him unbreakable. And once trading stops breaking you, progress stops being optional. It becomes inevitable. If you've made it this far, I want you to hear this clearly. If your trading feels slow right now, you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. And you are definitely not failing. You're doing something most traders never stay long enough to experience. You're building something that doesn't collapse the moment pressure shows up. Slow trading isn't weak trading. It's quiet trading. And quiet doesn't get attention, but it survives. The market doesn't reward urgency. It rewards those who can stay consistent when nothing exciting is happening. And if this video resonated with you, it's probably because you're already in that phase. So here's what I want you to do. If you're currently in a slow season, comment "still here" below. Not for motivation, but as a reminder that you didn't quit when it got quiet. If this helped you see your progress differently, hit like so this reaches traders who think slow means stuck. And if you want more content like this, not hype, not shortcuts, not fake motivation, but calm, honest truth about trading psychology, process, and longevity, subscribe. Because trading isn't about who moves fastest. It's about who's still standing when speed stops working. And if you're still here, you're already ahead.